My name is Chief Benson, the National Chairman of the Democratic People's Party. I come from Ikore local government in Rivers State. To me, as a person and as a political party chairman that was involved in this last election, following up INEC preparation for this last election, until the point of voting, INEC did very, very well. The reason is simple. INEC gave notice of election 1 year ahead, and everything about collection of voters, a PVC, registration of voters, consultations with even the press, political parties, civil society, the security people and all that, INEC did up to those ones. Then, at the point of, even during the election, INEC did very well. They did very, very well. But the point is that our security organizations have decided not to know that they need to be neutral during the election proper. But most often, they tilt towards defending whichever government that is in power wherever they find themselves. If they come to local government A and they see that that local government A chairman belongs to party XYZ, they tilt towards it. That was exactly what happened. But if they were to be neutral, we wouldn't have had the problem we had. To tell you that these INEC people tried, I don't know how many percent that would have done it, I'm not speaking for them. In Anambra State, 2 weeks, about 21 days before the election, a container load of card reader machine was burnt down. We didn't hear that police arrested anybody. We didn't hear of any investigation. But they were able to replace those card readers and reconfigure them before the election. The same thing happened in Kwampan local government in Jos. Part of INEC property there was burned down, electoral material was burned down, and then they were able to sort it out. Even in Akwa Ibom State, similar thing happened even close to the election, but they were able to work it out and people went there. But the major problem is the security, the way they believe it. My state was one of the worst anybody can think of. Akwa Ibom was equally one of the worst. In fact, the South states, Bayelsa was equally one of the worst, and we recorded a lot of death, which is supposed not to be that way. And we were there, we saw it. Each vote was exchanging, as at that time, it was a bazaar between the PDP and APC. You know, in Ekiti, the least a vote was sold for was about 3,000 naira. It was going between 3,000 and 2,000 and all that. So it's a question of who buys more. Then we moved over to, I was in Osun, I saw it, you understand? Yeah. Fine. And the problem is this. Is something too bad, and it shows that those in government has failed, and so I think it's intentional policy to make the people poorer and wait for them during the election. Right. And then the concept of people now is that I beg, make I collect one when I see after the next 4 years now. So, and the people forget to know that. How much are they giving you? 5,000, 2,000, 3,000? And again, you must show a proof. At a certain point, you get to even snap your ballot paper to show that you really voted before you go and collect your money. It was as bad as that. So that's even why INEC is now even saying, don't go with your smartphone and all that. But even at that. So it's a failure of our present democratic system. It's a failure that, okay, if you even look at generally this particular election, the voter turnout is very, very low. We're not looking at the total. INEC said about 80-something million people registered, but less than 20-something million naira, or there are million persons or thereabout voted. So you can see the gap. Apathy is so high, and those who even went there went for money. They sold. They bought votes in my own unit. I saw it myself. And it's running between those that have been in government for the past 20 years, between the APC and PDP. That's just it. And it's so bad that a leader of a political party in this country told the whole world that I'm sharing my money. It happened in Lagos. It's my money. So why not be sharing it before the election? Or why not be sharing after the election? So you target it and whatever you do with your money and all that, and we accept it. So the thing is that because of improvement in technology, card reader and all that, so things they surely do, change the result, do this one now, those ones are no longer working. So you now have to use your money to induce those that you think are going to vote your way. But the worst side of it, in spite of this vote buying, is this incident form that is still very prevalent in the northern part of the country, which is not too good. And that permits even those who are less voting age to equally vote. And so that equally rubbishes the use of the so-called, what do they call it, card reader machine and all that. Okay. So it's condemnable. And again, it points towards that if you want to win election now, you better go and think of where to steal money, what to do, and pack it, and then you can now do in your area. Thank God INEC has given all of our registered voters. I can now look at the Ikure local government machine. I'm running a constituency election like House of Assembly. I'll go and sit there and look at this number of registered voters. Then I take about 60-70%, and I begin to do my mathematics. Each of the voters, how much I'm going to give them. And knowing that in every polling unit of about 300 persons, about 152 will be there. I begin to look. So it's something that is endangering our democracy, is equally running the youth and the women out of politics, and then again it's a disincentive. Because so many people are not going to come out to vote. And when they don't come out to vote, if you are not a process of a particular thing, you might not guide it very, very well. Okay. The electoral law is straightforward about how you go about tribunal. Okay. In every election, the party has a right to go to court without the candidate. The candidate has a right to go to court without the party. But it's always very good for both the candidate and the party to go to court jointly. But most often it's the candidate that always initiates the process of going to tribunal. Okay. Most often. Okay. For us, like I said, we were in tribunal in Rivers State because the candidate insisted. If Ambassador Felix Osakwe had felt otherwise in the last concluded presidential election, the party would have been there with him to have challenged the outcome. But so, like, you remember when late head of state, Yaradua, when he won his election in 2007, he came up to say that the process that brought him to power was not too tidy. When President Buhari at that time and Atiku separately went to court, Yaradua did not go to court as a candidate of the party, or PDP as a party went to court to challenge the actions of both Buhari and Atiku at that time. Okay. And so it's part of the election process. Okay. And any candidate or any party that feels otherwise definitely must go there and ventilate your anger. Okay. And then thank God that you still have a process of appeal. The first outcome is not always the end of it. You cannot look at what's happening in Osun State. The first outcome gave it to the Adeleke of PDP, and then the second outcome in the appeal now giving it back to Yetola also, and then Adeleke is now off to Supreme Court, which is the final side of it. When whoever is occupying any position today will know that it was a free will. It's our collective will. Voting for you means I'm transferring my own right of representation to you, believing that I find in you when you go down there as a governor, as House of Assembly member, rep or senate or president, that you are going to do my wish or our collective wish. That you are going to, what are they going to do there? It's a question of managing the scarce national or state resources. Mr. President is not spending his personal money. He's spending on aggregation of all money Nigeria gets every month, paid into a federation account and allocate it federal government, state and local government. Yeah. So you now are going to manage those scarce resources to give me what I think is okay by me in health, right? In education, in infrastructure, in employment, in the development of this country. But those things are not there. Every month money is allocated and all that. And again, like I said, until those who are there know that they are there by the benefit of my free will and everybody's free will, until our vote counts, our democracy still have a long way to go, because it is then that you know they are accountable to the people. It is then you know that the people say, oh, please, you are not going again. One, you are not going to force yourself on them. You can look at what happened in some places. Some people feel they are God, and wherever they go to, you understand, the people must go there, whether the people like it or not. It happened in Akwa, it happened in River State, it happened in Kano, right? So wherever we go, whether the people like it or not, it has to be like that. Until when they realize that people have the vote, and the people will decide on what they want to do with their vote. Okay. Because I'm coming to a conclusion that I don't know what really is our problem. That one, God has to give Nigeria wicked people to govern us. I'm saying it I want it to be recorded. I don't want anybody to edit me. Check the profile of all of them. Sometimes if you look at the quantum of money they say they steal. No, let me ask you, can you steal your salary? Can you? It's not possible. Okay, now, must you bring down yourself? You build this house, you struggle to build it. So why must they stick to that quantum? Why? Why did God give us this kind of people? And funny enough, as if it's a social club, everybody wants to outsmart the other one. If you look at their record, everybody across the board that they ever find themselves in governance. So why? So motivation to serve the people is not just there. So my advice, my worries, I'm praying to God to give Nigerians, the people of Nigeria that love Nigeria, that is prepared to take Nigeria out of the wood, because our current leaders hate this country. Put all of them together. No. Just go to EFCC, you're a journalist and all that. Tell me, go there, both serving and the one that left, they have files in EFCC. And all of them, no one is a positive file, it's all negative files. So if they love this country, why must it be? And somebody will tell me he has about 100 and something million naira to cut grass. And instead of feeding those in IDP, his brothers and sisters are dying in the northeast. And we're still working on. So what all we want to do with this money? I want to ask you. For me as a human being, one of the greatest things I love God for is the element of death in the life of a man. If these people, even after realizing that you cheat your people, you amass this wealth, ill-gotten and all that, one day you will die and leave it. Yeah. So why do you go to that extent? My heart is bleeding for the country, because when I was growing up as a young man and all that, there was nothing like private school in River State at that time. The commissioner's child, all of us attended the same public school. The governor's child, all of us attended the same public school. But today, what is happening? The more money you have, the class of school your child attends. But as it pleases God, the poor men children are still going to school and are still coming out to be whatever they are. So I pray that God should change that mentality in us. Let God make it in such a way that those Nigerians that love Nigeria will take over the leadership of this country, and that we can even beat the best country in the world. We have that kind of people.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your contributions and all what you have said. It's a pleasure having you.
It's my pleasure.
Well,